Hi everyone, it's Cindy and welcome back to the channel. So today we are building an apartment downtown for a nature photographer. And this apartment not only has all of the standard apartment things that you would expect, but it also has our photographer's work area and a dark room. And I had so much fun with the challenge of creating a dark room in the game. So I really hope that you enjoy how it turned out because I'm pretty happy with it if I say so myself. So today we are building in San Myshuno. As I said, it's a downtown apartment. This is placed on 13121 Chic Street. And if you want to use this apartment for your Sims, it costs a little over 53,000 simoleons, 53,629 to be exact. And the build is available on the gallery. If you want to download it, it is available under my EAID Hygge Haven, that's HYGGEHAVEN, and also under hashtag Hygge Haven. So we're just working on the kitchen here, and I really love how the kitchen turned out. I am loving this black and brown combination, and I have to say, I have never used the spa day counters before, and I don't know, just on a whim, I pulled them out of the catalog this time, and I thought, oh my goodness, why have I never used these? These are awesome. I love all the details, particularly like with the handles. So I need to use these more, and I'm really happy that I use them now. I've talked through most of the kitchen and I'm just going through and starting the cluttering process right now. But by the way, tell me in the comments below, I would love to know, do you like to see when I pull all the clutter items out from the catalog? I'm never really sure if I should keep those in, if people like to kind of see the full process, or would you rather just have me pull all of the items out and take that footage out and then just show you how I clutter it and where I put all the clutter? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Interestingly, while I am doing the cluttering, I'm going to give you a little backstory on this apartment because this is actually my second attempt at building this apartment. I was really keen on the idea of making an apartment for a nature photographer because when I've been doing recent Sulani builds, I've realized that there's all these beautiful photos that your Sims can take when they go to Sulani and do photography and things like that. And I wanted to use them in a build, but I started building in, I think it is Penny Pizzazz's apartment, which is basically like next door to this one. And I thought that would work out really well with the layout because there's some space in that apartment that doesn't have access to windows, and that would be perfect for the dark room. But honestly, I really struggled with finding a floor plan that I liked in that apartment. So I jumped over to this one and I am so much happier with it. I think the floor plan worked out so much better. And this is not only a one bedroom apartment, but it's a one bedroom with a master bathroom with an ensuite, and it also has a powder room. So I think you get a lot for your money, which is ironic because I think as a nature photographer, this sim probably wouldn't be home very much. But anyway, right now we're moving into more of the living room area. Here I'm just auditioning some sofas. It is a combined living, dining room, kitchen area, and you'll see I have decided to go with the My First Pet Stuff sofa. Please don't hate me. I know not everyone loves the My First Pet Stuff, but honestly, I think a lot of the objects in that pack were actually really cool. And I very rarely ever use this sofa, but I love that you can make it like a faux sectional sofa before we got like proper sectionals with Dream Home Decorator. And I just thought it fit the vibe of this apartment perfectly. So we're going with the My Pet Stuff sofas. So please don't hate me, but I thought it worked. Anyway, I've just kind of laid out the basic living room area, and I'm just going back in here and adding a little bit of a dining space as well. You should also be aware that this apartment that I am using now is a TLC sort of apartment. It does have like the mouse holes and the circuit breaker and plumbing and stuff like that that might need to be fixed occasionally. You'll see that I've added a utility room in the back off the master bathroom. It is accessible, so your sim should be able to go in there and make repairs if necessary. There's also laundry facilities in there as well. I was super happy with how I worked out to make that space work because I didn't want to leave them exposed in the bedroom. But your sim should be able to access everything. The only thing they can't access is here in the kitchen. I have used an end counter to cover up one of the mouse holes, so you might need to move that if you need to deal with that mouse hole problem. But otherwise, everything should be completely accessible. So here you can see I've pulled out a whole bunch of those Sulani photos that I've been talking about, and I'm sprinkling those around the apartment. I am assuming that those are photos that our nature photographer has taken themselves and are on display. And I love this giraffe statue as well. I wanted to put a couple of nods to animals in the apartment. So we have that giraffe statue and the elephant head bookends as well. And that's pretty much it for the living room. So here I've tucked into this little nook, a little office space. It is going to be an extremely cluttered photographer's desk area, and you will see that shortly. I am using a lot of the Get to Work and, of course, the Moschino Stuff Pack items. So we've got some filing cabinets and some I think these are from like the police work career objects, like the reward objects, like this desk and the chair and everything. And here I've pulled out some of those magazine articles that have been framed. I kind of figured that maybe this is this photographer's like early work or magazines where their artwork was featured. And of course we get a whole bunch of travel photographs and postcards up on this cork board. These are probably places where this person has traveled to for work to photograph animals. So I added that in. And yeah, now we're just going to add a whole bunch of clutter to this desk. You'll also see that I add several of the Moschino Stuff Pack digital frames to this build, and I've never used them before, but I think there's such a cool idea that you can just take photos in the game with your sim and then add them to these frames, and they'll just rotate in gameplay, and I think that's such a great idea, so I wanted to add those to the build, and you could play around with them. I haven't actually used them in my game, and I'm realizing now that I should really take advantage of that. So here, as I said, I'm pulling out a whole bunch of the cameras and lenses and other photography gear that's in this Moschino Stuff Pack. This desk becomes actually, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I actually felt like it was too cluttered. Which is kind of impressive for me. So here I'm going to move some of the items over to on top of this filing cabinet and files, and it just kind of felt a little better balanced in that regard. So yeah, apparently I do have a limit for how much clutter I can add to something. So that was an interesting discovery. And next we're going to be adding a rug to cover up that body outline on the floor because unfortunately you cannot remove that in any way. So I used this cool weirdly shaped eco lifestyle rug because it just kind of covered it up perfectly. And there's one of the Moschino frames that I've added in where you can add 3 photos that your sim has taken. And then we're just kind of filling out the entranceway here with various different things. And now we are into the dark room, and I am so excited about this. Now, this is actually my second attempt at the dark room. I did do one initially that, you know, it was okay, but then later when I was poking around in the debug items, because I've used a lot of debug items in this particular room, I found some things that worked so much better, particularly these baking trays. I struggled before with trying to find some sort of tray to use for the development trays, and then I stumbled across these and I thought, oh my goodness, this is perfect. I also found some better bottles and pails and all of that sort of thing. So I've added those in here instead. You will see when I go and decorate the powder room, which you can see off to the left here, I've already done. Things are a little out of sorts. So things are going to appear and disappear and be a little bit different. But this that I'm showing you is how the dark room turns out. And I've also put up that little string light of photos because I figure that's kind of like where they're hanging the photos to dry. I also put in this wall vent as well because, you know, you're using a lot of chemicals and you probably need some good ventilation in this room. We've got a clock on the wall so you know how long to soak everything, you know, that sort of thing. We've got like a dustpan and some cleaning materials and paper towels and, all of those things just to like keep this room looking tidy and clean up afterwards. A little bit of extra storage. I put in extra bottles because I reckon, you're probably going to have more than one of everything. So we just pop those up in the extra storage shelves here on the wall as well. But I really liked how this turned out. And if you go in with your Sims and use the lighting features, you can change the color and intensity in here to a red color and change it to how intense you want. And that's what I've done in the screenshots, and it looks really good, I think. So I'm pretty happy. So here in the powder room, you can see on the right, that was my first go. And I think the redo that I did turned out so much better. So I really hope you are excited and enjoy it, and let me know in the comments what you think. I also swapped out this frame here for a different digital frame, but your Sims can still interact and put their own custom photos in it. And as far as the powder room goes, I mean, it's a pretty simple powder room. There's not really much to it. It's very monochrome, very black, white, and gray. But in the end, I do add in a little plant. Well, it's more like twigs with a green vase for a little pop of color right there. And then we're moving into the bedroom. So this is the only bedroom, and I struggled for a while with how to create a shape that your Sims could still fit a double bed in and still have it perfectly accessible, so I didn't have to like shove it up against a wall. But I'm really happy with how I have sectioned off the TLC items here into like this utility room, and I think it works so well. So I'm really pleased with this. The only unfortunate part about this bedroom is you'll see that there's this register here in the floor. You cannot move that register to anywhere that it makes sense, otherwise I would have moved it. And I tried to cover it with a rug, and for whatever reason, the game will not let you cover it. I even got a fluffy rug out, and nope, you cannot cover it. So anyway, it's there. I'm sorry. I've used a gray rug, so maybe it kind of blends in. I was also thinking that because this person is a photographer and they probably travel a lot, they wouldn't maybe have a lot of wardrobe space, and that's why I've used the Moschino clothing rail as well. Maybe they just have like that rail so that they can just put things up and grab and go. I also put in these new trainers here because they probably need, good quality, sturdy shoes for their workplace. And well, they don't really have a workplace, but for on the job. But anyway, that was my thought process behind the bedroom. And here is the master bathroom. Now, we do have this very like long, narrow window here, which means I can't put a mirror above the sink, which is a little bit weird, but I had this happen in one of my other builds in my private game. And so you'll see I put that long wall mirror on the opposite side. And I'm also going to add a medicine cabinet here underneath where or not underneath, over top of the towel. The towel's going to go underneath the medicine cabinet. And I think that kind of works really well for having the window where it is and not being able to move the window. So you still have a mirror that's not too far from the sink. You still have like some storage space nearby that's not directly over the front of the sink, it's to the side of the sink. So I think it works. And I've also realized I've really gotten into the habit lately of putting clutter on the top of the toilet, but I feel like that's pretty realistic. I mean, if you have like a North American style toilet like this, I mean, most people have something on the back, right? And I also love that I put some toilet paper there. Anyway, if you enjoyed this build, please go ahead and give it a like. Why not take a moment to subscribe to the channel? You know you want to, and click that bell to be notified. We're just finishing off the utility room here, but otherwise that's everything for the build. Thank you so much for watching, and I will leave you with the screenshots, and have a lovely day.